YouTubers, what's up? In this video, we're going to disassemble this dial caliper. I know I can't fix it. I already know I stripped the little brass gears in it, but I thought I would put this out there in case you guys wanted to disassemble your dial caliper and clean it. It's really not that hard of a task to do. You just need a few simple tools, which I have here. The dial caliper, of course, a pair of tweezers, a small screwdriver set, some alcohol, Q-tips. I really don't like Q-tips because they may leave lint behind, but you can usually catch that, blow it off. And a larger screwdriver for popping off the lens bezel. And that's about it. So what I'll do is I'll move this camera around to the other side and we'll get started with this. Okay, here we go. I am really not sure how this is going to come out. I have never videoed this small type stuff, so I'll try to stay in the frame and the lens as best as I can. So what we're going to do, we're going to disassemble this dial caliper, and just so you can get an idea what the innards look like, and then put it back together. I'll show you my my little brass wheels inside of this broke when I dropped it, so now I just basically use it. I set it for a certain height and just lock it. So basically, if you just want to replace the lens, that's a pretty simple thing. So we'll start with that. First thing, take out the locking screw right here. It just unscrews. Take that out. Set it aside. And basically what you need to do is you need to pop this bezel off. There's nothing else holding it on besides that locking screw we just took off. So basically what I did is I just took a screwdriver and I put some painter's tape on it right here just to keep things from getting buggered up. You may need to put something under it to kind of prop it up, so you can pop it off. But basically what I do is put it under here and just pop it right off like that. And it pops right off. And basically what you have is you have the bezel with the lens, and then this lens pops out of the bezel. There's a little ring in here. I don't know if they all have that, but see that little ring? And then if you're changing the lens, basically just change the lens out, lock this back down there, and then pop this right back on, and you're done. Okay, so we're going to go a little deeper. So let's set this aside. Okay, so now what you have after this lens cover is off is the face and then the dial, the little hand. Now I'm sure the professionals have some special tool for popping this off, but here's how I found to do it. I take two small flat screwdrivers and I just put it one on one side, one on the other, and pop it off. Bam, comes right off. There you go. And set that aside, of course. Okay, now you have the face. Now at this point you can clean the face with some alcohol or a towel. I wouldn't use anything real strong. Start mild and then maybe step it up a little bit. Alright, set that aside. And now you have this piece connected to this piece. And I don't know the proper names for these, so bear with me. So let's get our screwdriver, the one that fits the screw the best, and go in there and let's remove that. One. This one has 3 screws. Okay. There's the 3 screws. I'll set these aside. And now here's your mechanism right here. In my particular case, these little brass wheels, one of them is missing a tooth. I don't know if I can get these parts, I'm not sure. Okay. So now that is disconnected from this. Now, if you just wanted to clean, this is a good place to clean. You can get all the way in this track in here and clean with a Q-tip and some alcohol, maybe some air, get that all cleaned up. If you want to take this completely off, pretty simple. Loosen, make sure this is loose, and there's 2 set screws right here. Now these are your adjustments for the tension on this beam, okay? And there's a brass, basically like shim thing in there. And then basically to take that out, hope you can see this. Okay, one of these screws has a little tit on it, and this little tit locks that brass. I don't know if you can see that. So remember which hole that came out of so you can put it back in the same one. Set that aside. Okay, take this one out. Sorry for shaking, I had a really tough workout this morning. Still trying to recover from it. There we go. And this one just has a flat bottom. That's the top. That one's just a flat bottom. Now inside here, there's a little brass shim in here. See it start to come out right here. There she is. Okay, notice there's a hole in one side and a flat in the other. Okay, so that little screw with the tip, this is going to go right back in that way, bevel down. Set that aside. Now this is actually loose on here. Okay, so now to slide this completely off, we have to remove this piece at the end here. So let's get the screwdriver that fits that. Let's see if we get a bigger one in there. Too big. Okay, there's one. Come on, baby. There's 2. And they screw into that right there. And we'll set that aside. All these screws are different, so I don't think you have to worry about mixing anything up. You should probably separate them and clean them anyway. Okay, then at this point, this slides right off. Now, let me point something out. Some of my dial calipers, this track right here with the teeth on it is what moves the dial. This one's epoxied in. On my better quality ones, they have several set screws in them that screw that track to here. This one doesn't have it. So if yours has it, you can take that off so you can clean the track. But at this point, there's nothing more to take off on this. That's it. You can clean this up with alcohol and some Q-tips in here. Make sure there's no lint left behind. This, I would wipe off with alcohol, clean it. And let me show you this here. This piece has a Phillips head screw right here. sucker's tight. Oop. I thought I had to take that off for this. So there's your thumb wheel. But this is just a Phillips screwdriver right here. It's slipping in my fingers. All right, well, you get the point. I can get a bigger screwdriver on that, but that Phillips head screw comes out and this comes right off. I don't know why you would need to take that off, except to maybe remove the thumb wheel. Maybe, you know, some of these, the thumb wheel might not slip out. So, anyway. Okay, and that's pretty much all here. Now let's go back to the dial itself. Let's go further in this. You saw the front, and there's the rear. Now this is an aluminum piece, this is a brass piece, and this has 3 screws on this side. Some of them has 3 screws on this side too. I can't remember which one holds what, so we'll go a little deeper in and see what's what. There's one. 2. 3. Okay, set them screws down there. And then there we go. A little bit of goop in there. I would clean that. And then we have this. This is where my wheels, I don't know if you could see it, but one of them is missing a tooth right here. Right there. Okay. Maybe I can get parts for it, I don't know. But, you know, I have 2 or 3 of these, so I should be good. If I were to take these 3 screws off, then I'm getting into some wheels and things. I don't know if you could see that, but I don't want to go any further because these little springs and gears will pop out. You probably won't have to go further. If you're just cleaning, basically you're just going to use some alcohol and clean this stuff up and make sure there's no lint. Ooh, that's goopy. Clean that up. Okay. I would say clean all your pieces real good with some alcohol. Get them all nice and clean. Make sure there's no lint on it. And then we're ready to go back together. We'll be right back. Okay, I wasn't going to let that thumb wheel carrier win, so I had to get a little bigger screwdriver after it, and it just popped right off. So basically it's a Phillips head screw right here. And that's it right there. Some of them have an additional tit on them so they lock into place here. This particular one doesn't. Of course it's nice and goopy down there. Clean it up with some alcohol and a Q-tip and a lint-free towel. And now we're ready to reassemble. So let's do that. Like I mentioned before, some of this thumb wheel may have to be put in together as one piece. Mine, as you saw, fell right out. So basically we can put this back on again. Okay, we'll put the dial mechanism back in its bezel. So here's a lineup of all the pieces that we're going to go back in. I didn't really thoroughly clean everything because I'm not even going to be using this thing that much, but we're going to take our piece. Be aware of which side goes where. This one easy way to tell is this cutout right here basically locks into here, so it goes this way back onto here, and the bigger screws lock that in. So that's the only thing you need to be aware of. The bezel goes back on this way, the bezel for the mechanism. And the way you can tell the way this mechanism goes back in, it sits in the bezel. And just remember that these little wheels ride on this track. And then there's 3 threaded holes, and there's 3 places for the screws to go through. So basically that goes together like that. This is where your tweezers come in handy again, because I got some big hands and big fat fingers, so I'm not real good with these little screws. So we'll see what we can do. Put one in there. You know, maybe a little magnetic tip screwdriver comes in handy here for getting these screws in. So we'll get these started. I'm not real good with these little tiny screws, but let's see. You can right arrow and fast through this boring stuff if you like. I'll try to do this. And maybe this little magnetic tip is working to its disadvantage and not to its advantage for me. Hey, we got one. Woohoo! 2 more. Yeah, and don't hulk out on these things. These are pretty small screws. Torque these down evenly, I would say. They all feel pretty good. Oh, that feels pretty good. Here, I want to show you something too real quick. The way this works, I don't know if you could see it, but there's the wheels. Here's the track. And these wheels ride on that track and turn the dial. Like so. Okay, so we'll put this back together now. This basically just slides right through here again, like that. You don't have to put this on right away. You can just put it back on anytime it's not in the way of anything. Oh, remember to put your thumb wheel on first though, or you'll be taking that guy off again. Thumb wheel on. There we go. That's on there. Okay. At this point, put this back in next. What you have to do is bevel down that rides on this beam, and then what you have to do is you got to get it in here and line that little hole up with that hole. Okay, so let's slip that in and let's watch it. There it is right there. Okay, now we need the screw that has the little tit on it, which is right here. Little sucker. Actually, the tip of this is magnified and it's screwing me up. I thought it would work in my advantage, but no, it's not. Once you get this started, make sure that little tit goes through the hole, that brass shim in there, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. Okay, get it going down there. And you'll know when you have it locked in, because you'll move this back and forth, and the shim will kind of lock into it. And then these we adjust later. There's a little more adjustment to these. This regulates how true it rides on the beam here and how hard it is to go in and out. I'll take this one now. Let's try this with the tweezers. Yeah. Okay. Just get them snugged in there. Just snug, not too loose, not too tight, and then we can adjust them up. Okay. Once we have that, we can go ahead and put our mechanism back on. These line up with these. And then of course the cutout right here goes over this. So we're going to pop that down over here, line up the holes. Drop them bad boys in. Should be using the tweezers, but start those. We can use a little bigger screwdriver for these. Okay, before you tighten them up, make sure it's set down on here, and you'll know that because when you move it, you'll see the little wheel turning on the inside. Okay, and then snug these guys up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this sounds kind of funky because of that little broken gear. So anyway, okay, next step, we're going to put the face back on. Okay, get this dial. All right, the face you don't have to worry about where it ends up on here. You can just throw it on there anywhere, any place. What does matter is close these completely. Close them completely. Make sure there's no dirt on the jaws right here. Close them up and then hold them shut and lock it. And I'll show you why we're going to do that here. Basically, it doesn't matter, like I said, where the face is, but it does matter where this dial is, because you don't want your zero to end up over here or over here. And that's what matters now, is with it shut, you know it's supposed to be 0. So then basically take your little dial, and there's two sides to this, and there's no way I'm going to be able to show you, but there's a little shoulder on one side, and the top is kind of beveled a little bit, and the bottom has that shoulder. So basically what you want to do is, if you want, it doesn't matter where this is, but you do want your dial straight up and down. So try to get it as straight up and down as possible. And the way I press it back on, it may not be the right way, but it seems to work pretty well for me. I take this small Phillips head micro screwdriver and it kind of fits right in that little edge. So what I do is I line this up over the stud. I line it up over the stud and then I press it down onto the stud. Just start it on there. That way, if you just start it, you can move this around a little bit and set your zero wherever you want it to be. So kind of just manipulate it around to where you want your zero. And it's not pushed on far enough to be locked on. It's just on there far enough so you can move it around. So get your zero where you want it. Usually straight up and down is where I like them. And then at that point, take your little screwdriver in the end of this and press it down and push down on it, and now it's locked. Now it's locked on there and it can't be moved. The only way it's going to be moved is when you start using your dial indicator or dial caliper again. Okay, so the reason this thing keeps moving around, like I told you, my gears are messed up and broken, so just disregard that. Just remember, lock this down and set your dial for 0 and it will stay there. Not on this one, it's broken. If you guys have little brass gears out there, let me know where I can get them and I can fix this one and have another good one. Okay, next step. These lenses are available on eBay for about $4, and I'm pretty sure they're a standard size too. Just measure the diameter and you can get like 2 or 3 of them. These cracks happened when I dropped it. It dropped when it was open and it wasn't locked down. That's what stripped my gears. So basically the next step is set this to where you want your zero to be. It doesn't matter because you can turn this and then lock it, but put it over here. Just place it over. Make sure you got this ring in correct too, because this ring has 2 sides. Okay, it's got a small side and a beveled side. So make sure you have that in correct after you put your new lens in. You can polish these with some car polish. They come out really nice. If your lens isn't cracked and it's just scratched a little bit, a real light, mild car polish just makes them like brand new again. So just take that basically and line it up and push it back on over, and you'll know you're even because this will be even all the way around. Okay, so then you can, set your zero, of course. Hopefully you have a standard or a gauge block or something, and that's how you can set your zero. I have a 1-inch standard that I use that I had not certified, but a professional machinist check for me, and I know it's accurate. So that's what I check it on. And usually these come out dead nuts. So after you get that back on, take your locking screw and of course set your zero and lock her down. And then let's put our tailpiece back on. That also has a step in it also too, so pay attention to that. Basically put that down over it. Line up your holes. Don't you just love these tiny screws? Oops. Here's one. there you have it. Boy, doesn't that sound great? I'm sure yours will sound much better, but I sure hope you can get something out of this and go away feeling more confident about taking apart your dial caliper and cleaning it. I know Keith Fenner calls these your guessometer, and that's exactly what they are. It'll get you in the ballpark, but the micrometer always is more accurate. So, see you for now.